This is the story I'm gonna tell you. How did I find myself in China? First of all, I suck at dry, and on with the story. It all started when I was back home in Zambia, where I just finished my grade 12, or should I say finishing grade 12 was so hard. Like, I'm telling you, people that wanted, they're desiring 6 point. Like in Zambia, once you have 6 point, whoo-wee, you're going scholarship to abroad, scholarship everywhere. Yo, man, when it comes to us, we had to wing it. Like the time I was writing, man, the exam was intense. Like you can actually see your friend there just counting the roof. Like how many bars are in the roof he was counting during the exam. Some niggas that were actually sleeping in the exam room. That exam was really tough. Like I tell you, it was really tough to the hardcore, the toughest metals on earth. More tougher than the diamond itself. The exam in Zambia, they are the toughest exam you ever write. As a grade 12, they know it. Even by the time the results start coming out, you better pray.
In nomine Patris et Filii et Spiritus Sancti.
You better pray. If you're an SH, you're gonna change. You have to pray to Jesus, because at about that time, if you think that Jesus is not gonna come down, you better believe it. You just have to pray. And some of the rich kids, they were buying cheat codes for the exam. Like they were literally buying cheat codes, and somebody says there's a cheat code for this certain subject, and they buy it. Oh my God, it was way fake cheat codes they ever bought. There was just too many random cheat codes. They say, oh, this question is coming in the exam. No, this question is coming to exam. You have to study this math exam. That this biology question is gonna be different. Whole kind of couches. They were actually doing all kinds of things just to get to that level to pass the exam. But the time I was getting my result, oh my God, I was literally on my knees to praying to God. I please just get at least, not even to get higher points. I don't know, the highest points you can ever get is 9999999. Like all the subject 9. That's the lowest and the most failure you can ever get on an exam. But the success, if you want to get aim higher, you have to get 111. All the subject has to be 1. Almost like the best subject has to be 6 point. If you add some extra, you can have 8 points if you like. But when my results were coming, who should I tell you? I failed English. English, of all the subjects that I'm good at, I failed English. The rest of the subject, I got distinction, merit, distinction. But the only subject I ever had that I ever failed was English. English, uno English. What is that supposed to mean? Because our country was colonized by English. After that, the following year, I had to go for a GCE. I had to rewrite the exam. Like, I had to rewrite English because I only failed English. The whole entire grade 12, I only failed English. But these other one, I passed very well. So I had to write English. Then after that time, I was playing. I was really playing. To tell you how playing is, like, you can literally not study for the exam. You can only study in the last minute. Focus, razor sharp on the paper. By the time I started going to the exam, yeah, I aced it. I felt like, oh yeah, I did it. I aced it. But when the result came in, I was like, yeah, at least I had to do better than that. So after the result came in, man, oh my God. Dude, when the result came in, when my father just told me, like, you just definitely have to go someplace to rent. Like what do you want to become in future? You know, when the father and son are having a conversation, it's always that type of son. Son, what do you want to be in future? You want me to be whipping your ass? Or do you want to go to the farm? Like, there's just this conversation when the father and the son, they're talking about, like, if you do not do well at school, you're gonna end up this. As in, you know, if you're a father out there, don't ever try to tell that story to your kids. That if you ever fail at this, you're gonna be doing this job. No, don't even try to. And my father just told me, like, okay, I got good news for you. You can apply abroad. I was like, really? And I was like, yeah, I needed that shit. I really needed it. Like the time it was like telling me all that things and the process is just like, oh, my father had some colleagues who told him about this type of agency. Let me tell you about agency in Zambia. It's a messed up shit. Like the story goes like this. When you are out there looking for scholarship, looking for the next college or university or whatever it is, like BS. Every time you're on Facebook, there's just bunch of random ads telling you there's a scholarship here, there's a scholarship there. Let me tell you, those ads are pretty nuts. They're not even actually telling you the actual thing. Some of them, 100%, I can say 1% are correct. The 99% are scam. And most of the time, when I look at the Facebook people, like for sure, Facebook is really depressing. Mark Zuckerberg, if you listen to this, Facebook is depressing. I said it in my mouth. I said it. It's depressing. So back to the story short. So when the parents want his son or daughter to do well in life, they have only this type of jobs. It's either you become a lawyer or a doctor or a pilot. Only these three in Zambia are the most leading successful jobs you can ever have because you're gonna earn a lot of money. And my parents wanted me to become a doctor. Like seriously, a doctor. And when I was looking at my result, I didn't do well at biology. I didn't do well in biology. I'm not good at memorizing some of the shit because I might be left in some of the story which happened. So I was like, okay, if I can do well in biology, and the other thing I can do lawyer because lawyer is just too much scams in it. So I was like, okay, I can be a lawyer, I can be a doctor, but what am I supposed to do now? Should I be a pilot? And I didn't even have the option. I didn't have that passion of a pilot. The only thing which stuck in my head, like I'm pretty good at making art, drawing stuff, building and stuff. So I chose civil engineer. Of all the things, just it's the more reliable, it's more demanding, and I just chose that. And I was like, okay, I chose civil engineer. And he told me, you're actually going to China. Well, boy, oh boy. My mom didn't like the idea that I was going to China. She didn't at all. She was totally against the idea that I'm going abroad, away from her. Well, I guess she was actually missing me so much. She was, okay, you know how it is when you're a couple, like they love each other. My mom loved beating the hell out of me. So the time I actually travel abroad or something, she'll be missing whipping my ass. That's why she was like, no, I don't want you to go anywhere. She thought that the moment I travel abroad, I'm gonna end up at some of the immigrants, she was too much watching the news. You know how it is when parents are watching news. They are razor focused on the story, razor focused on the bad story, the sad story of it. Like every time when you're watching news, let me tell you, every time, like if you like news, please stop watching news. That shit is even more depressing and like mind controlling that you ever had. My mom didn't want me to go to China, and Dad had to had to convince her that your son has to go to China. And it was like a week, like it was going on for a week, battling that type of shit, like just having a conversation. I need to go. And one time she changed her mind. She was like, let me have a conversation with you. She settled me down, and I was like, oh no, oh boy, here we go again. She's just finally going to tell me she's canceled the whole program. I'm gonna stay here. I was waiting for her to say that. Well, it was a lecture from point A to point Z. Like it was like deep all the stage. She had like a checklist. You know how it is, like when you're like, she was like a pilot trying to fly an airplane. She was doing all the steps to tell me, oh, first step, when you go here, don't do this. She read the whole checklist of why I should go to China and why I shouldn't go to China. She had it all. She explained it all. And long story short, she accepted it. That's the final word. She accepted it. Little did I know that going to China was pain in the ass. The first thing was after the lecture, I started doing the process of making the passport and start going to the immigration to apply for the admission and start going to Ndola, Lusaka. I was moving back and forth everywhere entirely in Zambia just to make this whole process work. And finally, when you go into, like, you can probably ask most of the students who are actually going to China, ask them this question. How was your experience at the immigration in Zambia? They will tell you it's the worst experience ever. Every time you go with papers, they will refuse. No, you needed this type of paper. You needed this type of paper. The J2W form, you needed this paper. No, you have to print this paper. No, you have to print this paper. And you only got one time in a week just to do that. So if you missed that opportunity, you're not gonna do it again. They only had a short period of time, and there were plenty of people going there. It was like a line, bro. At the embassy, it was a line. So after that, I went to the embassy of China in Zambia for 3 times. Almost like 4 times. 3 times. I stayed in Lusaka for a month. Just to deal with the process of the visa. Once the visa was done, we were celebrating, my family, my brothers, my sisters. We were celebrating like, yeah, my brother's going to China. Damn, we were celebrating in silence. Like nobody had to know that I'm living China. The thing is, you know how Zambia is. If you tell somebody that you're living in China, like you're living abroad, they're gonna juju your ass down. Like you're not gonna go. People are really jealous in Zambia. If they find out that you are leaving them, they're really jealous. 100%. So I actually went on. My parents bought me Kenyan Airlines, and I went to Kenyan Airlines. I even went to Nairobi. After Nairobi, went to China. I ended up landing in Guangzhou, but my destination was Hangzhou City. And that was the story on how I ended up in Guangzhou. And the next part, we're gonna be talking about the experience in an airline of Kenyan Airlines all the way to Guangzhou. So stay tuned.